In western Minnesota, there's a trip only a few would dare. Just when you thought a YouTuber's idea couldn't get any dumber, Ice Road Teslas takes on a new South Dakota Supercharger. These are the drivers who follow an idiot's plan to the blowing snow and ice. Ice Road Teslas. Good morning, it's a beautiful March morning, and I am late to start the convoy. We're headed to South Dakota today to do some exploring. It's very bright. Let's get going. Leaving home with 96%. I'll change the name of the Two Harbors trip, but we got a new trip started. Let's hit the road. I'll tell you all about it. Welcome to a South Dakota convoy adventure. Naturally, I got out of the house a little late and met my friend Jeff in Bloomington on the way up. We're gonna go up from the Twin Cities up Interstate 94 and then branch off and head straight west and check out the new Sisseton, South Dakota Supercharger. And since I was driving out there and it was gonna be a sunny day, I let folks know in the Facebook groups, get their input on cool things to see in the area and to see if anyone wanted to join me, and a handful of people do. So this will be a fun little convoy. We're going to meet folks along the way, do a Supercharger review, and see what else is in the area. It's not a place I've been before other than just passing by. To stop and get out and take a closer look will be pretty cool. We're also going to try to hit a couple other chargers along the way just for exploring purposes. Apparently there's a CCS charger in Morris, I think by the university campus. We're going to learn more about that when we meet other people. They know where it is. So a fun day trip. I'm following Jeff in his Model 3 right now. So it'll be interesting to see what everybody gets from an efficiency standpoint, maybe a driving style standpoint too. But a beautiful morning to be on the road. It's 21 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So a little brisk, but the roads are clear and it should heat up a little bit through the day. We'll see. Wind is behind us right now. Of course, that means it'll be in our face coming home, but we'll deal with that as it comes. There are enough superchargers that we have bailout options. We're going to stop at this Clearwater stop, but if we had to on the way home hit Alexandria as well, we could. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but we'll see what we get. We'll catch up to you in Clearwater. All right, 77 miles, used 31 kilowatts, 402 average, because we were preconditioning almost the entire way since I navigated here. It's saying 35 minutes here. I don't think we'll need that, but I'm going to get plugged in and get going. We got some very cold cords here this morning. All right, charging. Good morning, guys.
This is, oh yeah.
Hi, Todd. Your face is on video.
Oh boy, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be a celebrity now.
Yeah.
So, meeting at the Dairy Queen there. Todd's already up to 99%, so.
I'm thinking this is gonna be B-roll.
There's
It will be B-roll.
So then we can say whatever the hell we want and it won't show up on B-roll.
Don't be so sure.
might as well check in a plug share, right?
Oh, yeah. We were just hanging out in Todd's car there to get out of the wind. We have enough for the trip. Charged up to 97 at 10:53. We are going to make one extra stop. So 12:24. And yeah, all the way back up to 97%. So the guys are taking off. Back on the road, and it's just after 11. We had a longer stop there in Clearwater. It's now 19 degrees Fahrenheit, and everybody preconditioned on the way there, so we burned a little juice doing that, but we did charge relatively quickly, especially for V2, and we were hanging out and just talking in the back of Todd's car. Now headed up to Sauk Center, where we'll exit the interstate and meet up with Aaron. I know this has happened to me recently, and there's been other talk on Twitter about this lately too, that the superchargers have been pretty conservative. For my charge, I got up to 97% and it said, okay, you're ready to continue your trip. And obviously anything after like 85 is pretty slow charging. Over 90, it's very slow charging. So we spent some extra minutes there. Not the end of the world today, we're just kind of chilling. But now when I unplugged, it's saying we'll get to the supercharger in Sisseton with 28%. So obviously we've got some wind that right now is kind of a side wind, but it's kind of behind us, and we are going to make a pit stop just to check out the CCS charger in Morris. So we've got options, but just odd that it's saying, all right, you just made it to be able to continue at 97%, and then it's saying, oh, but you're going to get to your charger with 27% now. We're going 77 in a 70-mile-an-hour zone, which is above the speed limit, but it's the flow of traffic, and some people are still passing us pretty easily, so we're being relatively efficient. I'll check with the guys as we go to see what their efficiency is on these different legs and see if we can chart that out as the day goes on. But for now, just cruising, and we'll catch up as we exit the interstate. Brief snack and restroom stop in Glenwood to meet Aaron and check out his new wrap. He and Tyler are from the area, so they took the lead from here. Driving through Glenwood here, looks like next to Lake Minnewaska, if I read that correctly. Not one I'm familiar with, but it's big. It's always interesting. You get to different parts of Minnesota you're not familiar with, and you realize just how many giant lakes there are around here. But that's part of the fun and the cool part of exploring different parts of the state. Glenwood now, and headed to Morris. And we think there's a CCS charger there, so we're going to check that out and then continue on out to Sisseton, South Dakota. This is a very big lake. Just got to the U of M. We're going to check out the chargers here. Since last charge, 105 miles, 343 average watt hour per mile. I figured while we're checking out the big charger, I'll plug into the J1772 here.
Charging.
Yeah.
And you're charging off solar, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And then
Looks like it's been a while since that's been used, but are we gonna charge?
yeah, that was definitely does the section really get slow down? I went up the accelerator and I go, did a little wiggle? Yeah, I got the wiggle and I was like, and I tell people I prefer
Here we go.
braking to brakes.
And charging. All right, great.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
First time someone's used this, like one after another.
Okay, communicate. Oh, maybe. Oh, it's my car. It does that. It has to have a handshake. I've noticed that.
At least it's free.
You have
Yeah,
to
that's
unlock
cool.
it and then do it again. Again. Okay. God, these are heavy. Got it.
Communicating.
Setting up the car.
What network is this?
Green lots.
Oh, okay.
Or shell recharge. There you go.
Oh.
45 kilowatts.
Has started charging.
45?
I started at 37%, I think.
Are you getting the full 50 then?
45.
45. Do you have to precondition for
This is
this?
not preconditioned and stuff like that. It's
And
really
if
good.
you
Yeah, that's
have a
pretty. That's good.
supercharger you want to navigate to, I guess.
So Todd's car is 317 since the last charge? 339 from Clearwater. Yeah, when your last charge was.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Tyler, what's your efficiency coming from Clearwater since last charge?
280.
280?
Oh, since last charge, 305.
Oh, okay. This is the University of Minnesota Morris campus and the West Central Research and Outreach Center, focusing on agricultural, livestock, and clean energy research. And they power the campus with 2 wind turbines and a variety of solar panels. Although the wind was good for the turbine, it made sticking around to explore and learn more a task for another day. So we stuck to the free chargers, which you can find on PlugShare. Tyler got a little boost after Jeff, and we were soon on our way. And so you just download the app, pick the station.
Yep. Just put the
Start
station number in off the sign and goes.
Nice.
Nothing to do it.
And you put your credit card in there already.
Yeah, but this one's free, so.
Do you, if on a free one, do you have to have your credit card on file?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay. Both cars started charging pretty much right away, so that's pretty slick. Jeff went from 37% to 50% in just a few minutes. It's not blazing fast, but for where we are,
For free, can't complain.
yeah. Charging at 7 kilowatts, 32 amps. So if you were going to be here for a while, wanted to walk around in a nicer weather day, this is a nice option to just chill out and charge, and that's pretty cool. All right, hanging out there, we got up to 47% for free, not bad. And now we're on our way to lunch in Sisseton. It's always fun to come into these little towns in rural places where maybe it's pretty rare to see a Tesla. And occasionally, if you're driving alone, you'll get a look or something. But traveling in a parade of 5 of us, a lot of heads are turning with what's going on around here. So that's kind of cool to see. Hopefully it puts the idea in people's heads out here that, hey, electric cars are driving around here and not having a problem. Even on a cold day, it's only 20 degrees, and we're now relatively far off the interstate, although the wind is picking up, blowing across the road pretty good. Or maybe they all just think we're stupid, which maybe we are. But the cars work fine. It's 1:45. We left Morris about 10 minutes ago or so. Nice to get just a couple percentage level 2 charge just to do it. A couple of the other guys use the CCS adapter and got decent charging speeds between 45 and 50 kilowatts. Got some good percentage bump. But now that we're back out on the highway, I'm feeling a little concerned. Not from a range perspective, but from a road condition standpoint, where the wind is just completely blowing over from the fields. The roads are completely snowed over. Some spots are slick, and I'm feeling a little bit of concern, a little bit of responsibility for dragging everybody out here. We're kind of to the point where we just, I guess we could go back to Morris, but we kind of just need to continue to Sisseton and follow through with the plan. But the roads are not getting any better out here, and so I'm considering calling the guys and just say, let's cut our losses and head back. But I don't want to be a party pooper if everybody else is excited about this. the road conditions aren't super. The further we get out into the country, the more icy I think it's going to get. I was hoping for a little warmer day. It's only 22 degrees. I was hoping with the sunshine this time of year we'd be in the getting up to 40, but it's just not happening, and that might be a function of the wind, but just kind of the way it is. Right now it's saying we'll get to Sisseton with 12%. It was saying 9 earlier, but we're only going 53 miles an hour. Keeping that speed down is letting that aspect of it go up, but I don't know. I just feel really awful if somebody, you know, wipes out or something. Right now we're behind a semi, so at least Tyler's got some cover in front of him, but you just never know how things are going to be, so getting a little concerned. And really that's all I can think about right now, so no other big updates, just seeing how this is going to go. We are in Graceville, just doing a quick regroup and knocking the snow off the wheels and everything. It's slow going, around 25 miles an hour for some of it, but the guys seem to want to continue, so we're going to do that. Hopefully everybody stays safe and we have good speeds, so we're just going to take it as it is. This is going to be a very brief Supercharger review while we're there, but it does illustrate, if you see a review that's in a good spot and someone says, but be careful when it's winter time, take that to heart, because we're in mid-March and we're having this much blowing snow. So just be aware of that anywhere in the Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming, western Minnesota clearly. The winter can hang on a little longer than what you might expect. It is so funny how in town the roads are perfectly clear. Anywhere there's a windbreak, the roads are just perfect. And then the second you get out into the field, it's just sludge. And so, you know, that's definitely hurting our efficiency as EV drivers, but it's also hurting every gas driver's efficiency as well, plowing through that, churning it up and getting it stuck in your wheel wells. We just kicked a whole bunch of it off, and I'm guessing we're going to have to do that again when we get to the Supercharger. It's saying we're 13 minutes away, just up on the hill there, coming down. There were tons of pheasants in the ditch areas, just picking at whatever grass and things they could find by the side of the road, but lots of hens, a handful of males. We are now in South Dakota. I missed it on the camera, but just crossed the border. I just re-navigated a handful of minutes ago. Originally it had started preconditioning for here outside of Morris like an hour ago, and I imagine it was just going to keep the level up. I turned that preconditioning off, but then because I re-navigated and now we're close, even though we have a low state of charge, it knows we can get there and it'll do a little bit of preconditioning, which has probably saved us several percent. So glad about that. Now that we're on a road that's going north and south, the wind isn't affecting this road. We're about to take a 90-degree turn west, and I'm guessing we're going to be in the sludge again for the last few miles. So it's saying we're going to get there at 3:06. It's 2:56 right now, so 10 minutes. And I plan to do some exploring, but I'm guessing if the main roads are this bad, the secondary roads to some of the little parks and things that are around might be even worse. But we'll see you in Sisseton. We just crossed Interstate 29. That goes north and south between the Dakotas and Minnesota, mostly in the Dakotas, but right near the border. So if you were to be heading north or south on 29, which is probably the most likely use case for stopping at this Supercharger, this would be your drive. I think it's a mile and a half away from the interstate, which isn't great, but there are things around it where right on the interstate there aren't. And we're getting lots of good road slush here. You can really feel the wind buffeting the car. And here we're coming to Dakota Crossing. A big pothole going in, or just uneven pavement. So it looks like we've got convenience store, food. And superchargers. We made it! 10% in the battery, and we all stayed on the road. Nice light V3 handles here. And we're green. That's good news. Yeah, so here you can see. This is after I knocked them off at the last stop. Lots of sludge built up in there. Yeah, you can see it all just builds up down here. It's rough on the mud flaps. Yeah, that's solid ice. Huh, interesting pull-in spot here. So if you had a trailer, you could nose into this last spot. The trailer would be out in the lot, but there's plenty of space to get around. So yeah, I didn't precondition for too long, and so low battery temperature warning there. But we're still getting 149 kilowatts now, and in 30 very windy degrees. That's okay. It should warm up. We're up to 152. So I'm not worried about it. I need a break out of the car anyway. We need to get some lunch. So we'll just take whatever we get here. For now, I'm gonna run into the store. We headed into the grocery store. It seemed to have a nice selection for this size town and nice restrooms, similar to other grocery store supercharger combos in rural places across the country. We could have eaten there, but chose to look in town for something else. In the meantime, I grabbed some windshield washer fluid and shot a supercharger review. Hello and welcome to Sisseton, South Dakota, which will be its own short and separate video. The guys helped me out a little bit. Yeah, do you guys want to pose by your cars?
Yeah.
Seductively?
I don't know about that. Turn it on and come over.
Stand here looking cool, excited that it's here, and we're all getting a good charge. So now you know. And by the time we wrapped that up, we were ready to roll. To do the math later, but we're at 98% at 4 o'clock, and that cost 22 bucks, so quite a bit, but that was a big charge. We're gonna grab some lunch and then hit the road again. We drove into town to try the Hickory Street Bar, but they weren't serving food that day. So we rolled over to Tacos El Bahillo for good Mexican food, nerdy conversation, and making a game plan for the way home. I had hoped for a tamer day where it would have been fun to see the sights, especially Nicollet Tower and Interpretive Center. I'd heard about it from our Facebook group as a cool site and place where you could see 3 states at once. But that and all the cool lakes along the way will have to wait until summer when I can come out again with my daughter and not freeze or blow away. After a great meal, we were back to it. I just navigated home. And it's saying we'll get to Clearwater with only 5%. We're at 96 at 5:07, so we might have to take a detour to Alexandria. We'll see what the other guys need to do, but we're still dealing with that wind here. But taking off now. So far we've gone 247 and burned over a full battery of energy. So we'll hit the road here. We are back in it, back in the ice and slush covered roads. The plows have gone through, but there's still plenty of ice on the road. So we're going slow. Right now it's saying we'll get to Clearwater with 6%. Sounds like the other guys' estimations might be hovering around there too. So we might have to cut up north and hit Alexandria. Wouldn't be the end of the world because then at least we'd get to the interstate faster. We'd just be going a little out of our way and charge there instead of Clearwater. But we're keeping an eye on it, trying to make a plan. Oh, another pheasant. Lots of pheasants on the side, on the hillsides there between Minnesota and South Dakota. Some really nice big birds, which is surprising when we're at the tail end of winter, but we did have a couple nice melty weeks a few weeks ago, so maybe they get a chance to fatten up. Aside from the ice, it's a very beautiful day. The sun is shining, skies are clear. It's just that we're driving on ice. Maybe that'll be the title of the video, Ice Road Teslas. Is that a thing anymore? I don't know. Definitely need to come back out here with the family in the summer. Aaron was pointing out a really nice beach area. I guess that's closer to Watertown, but you know, this is a part of the state we don't usually come to for a destination. But there's cool stuff to see out here. And with that, I'm going to focus on the road and catch you later. So we made the call to go to Alexandria. It wasn't too difficult of a call. We were all pretty much in single digits, estimated arrival in Clearwater. We could be cool and tough and chance it, but you know, we all want to get home tonight easily. And this wind is still pretty severe and the roads are very icy, so it just made the most sense to not just come to a closer charger, but get back to the interstate as quickly as possible. I think we're all pretty certain that that should be in better shape than these country highways. We've blasted through some pretty major snowbanks. I got some of those on camera, but luckily we just pulled off at a gas station to use the restroom and get sodas and stuff, and nobody seems to have any damage, so that's good, especially Tyler, who's up on the front. But as he's preconditioning his battery, you can see the smoke. I don't know if that transferred into the camera, but you can see the steam from all the snow that's packed in there and everything melting off and steaming out his front vents there. And most of this has packed down into pretty dense ice, on the roads, but luckily it's not too slick yet. It's still pretty speckled, textured. There is a little grip to it. Still don't want to go too fast, but it's not like the wind is going to blow us, you know, right off like a ice rink quite, but it is that dense of snow. We need a Zamboni out here. Maybe Zamboni is the next gen Tesla platform. With all this slow driving, we aren't really making the time that I was hoping we would. I was thinking we'd be pretty near the cities by now and almost home. We're still about 36 minutes away from Alexandria, and then it's about 2 hours home from there. So that means likely get home around 10:30 tonight. And Jeff's all the way down in Faribault, so he might not make it home till 11, which is unfortunate. I didn't want this day to be this crazy. I mean, it's been cool, and just talked to somebody at the gas station wondering if we were part of a club, which we are, but you know, this is just kind of a random event we're doing. He was asking about the chargers and the weather and, you know, all that stuff. And that's where I think there's some good PR to be had of seeing, like, on a day like today, oh, there's 5 Teslas that just came through town and no problem. And right now we're behind somebody's pickup truck. You know, we're going the same speed they are. And you know, everybody's being cautious in road conditions like this. So, but it's good to see EVs out here doing the same. It's good data. Hopefully Tesla's recording everything from the cars to get good input, because if they're going to solve FSD out here, you got to be able to handle this where you can hardly see the lines or sometimes not at all, and just know from other cues where you are on the road. This might be one of the last areas to be solved, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. I think people have an approach of, if it can't do every single thing, then what's the point of it? But if it can do 99% or everything in a metro area and suburb area, but maybe can't cross the plains in a snowy windstorm, this kind of stuff doesn't happen that frequently that it needs to be solved tomorrow. But we're plugging away. Hopefully we'll be back on the interstate by the time it's dark. Hopefully the interstate is clear. Once we get to Alexandria, it'll be smooth sailing home. So we got to Alexandria, saying estimating charge time at 45 minutes. We'll see about that. I'd rather just make another pit stop in Clearwater if we need to, but I'll see how Jeff is thinking. He's got a lot further to go than I do. But I'm gonna get plugged in here, 724. It was only 109 miles, but we were getting bad efficiency at 434 watt hours per mile. Obviously I could have stopped preconditioning and that would have saved us some juice, but then we'd charge slower, so it's kind of a weird trade-off. Right up to 157. We'll see where we get. We're at 26%, so should be doing better than this, but it's still only 24 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, we'll climb up slowly. Yeah, we'll just play it by ear. Not a big rush. Up to 159 now. Did you hit any snow? We popped into Target for restrooms, any additional snacks, and to see if they had any RC Teslas in the toy department. But then it was time for the fellowship to dissolve. Todd and Tyler live in the North Metro, so a couple minutes was more than enough to get them home. Aaron lives near Alexandria, so he took off without charging, leaving Jeff and I to convoy south again. Alright, we're down to 53 kilowatts, we're at 83%, and we are going to jump down to Clearwater. Jeff's going to need to go there anyway because he's got to get all the way to Faribault. pit stop here in Monticello. It's saying 15 minutes. We wouldn't even need that. We could pretty much make it home on what we have, but we'd be dead. But Jeff's got his charge here, so I may as well top up here too and just get a little bit. Let's see how we're doing on our trip. Since last charge, current trip, we're at 93. We went 93 miles. Used up a lot of juice because of the cold and wind, but so far we've gone 446 miles today and ready for that last leg. So let's plug in and get moving. All right, 247. That's pretty good. So 250 kilowatts, perfect. So yeah, getting that interstate driving and preconditioning the battery on the way here got us in good shape. Gonna run into Cub for the restroom and come out, and we should be good to go. All right, I'm up to 71%. Don't need that much, so we're gonna unplug here. But Jeff's had a couple times where the charging has stopped, and we don't know if it's his charge port or what's going on, but I'm gonna stick around here and we're gonna see if he can get squared away. Might need to have service look at that, because that shouldn't be happening. That was 1260 to get us up to 72% in a handful of minutes. I didn't time it, but I'll put that up on screen. Next, we're headed home. Home at 10:30 with 42%. Obviously we overcharged, but that's okay. 28 degrees, so relatively consistent temps. I guess it warmed up from, it was 19 and 21 this morning, but I kind of hit the gas on the way home to just get home. So since last charge, 55 miles, actually only 360 watt hours per mile. That's not too bad for all interstate. So our full trip for the day was 500 miles on the nose, 395 watt hours per mile. So that did come down throughout the day. Hopefully Jeff makes it home safely. We'll wrap up with final stats and everything in the studio. We drove 500 miles, got an average of 395 watt hours per mile. Spent a lot of time charging and talking and doing some extra, just making sure Jeff was okay before he hit the road. So my total charging time at the fast chargers was 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is quite a bit. But I did get home with 42%, which is way more than I needed. Like I said, we were hanging out a little extra, but that means over those 4 fast charging stops, our average stop time was 33 minutes, 33 and a half minutes, I guess, technically. And the average cost was $15.21. The total charge cost for the day was, again, a little steep because of the extra $60.82. So more than a typical trip, but this was not a typical trip. But it was a fun adventure. We'll head out there again in the summertime and do a family trip, but for now, I just want to say thank you to you for watching, and thanks to Jeff, Aaron, Todd, Tyler, for joining me on this trip, leading the way through those snowbanks and getting us through safely. So, great adventure. Thank you to them. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe. If you didn't, that's fine. Why are you still watching? Have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.